Recently, I sat down with Will Brereton. If you don't know Will, he is the host of Group Fitness Real Talk, which is his podcast. And he's also the founder of Shift Fitness. So Shift is SH1FT. And it's this really cool format where they've really conceptualized how to help fitness instructors and trainers lead more sessions without putting a ton more time into the prep piece of leading pre-formatted classes. So they are these really cool, well thought out, super informed, professionally designed workouts that you don't have to put a ton of time into the prep because there's an app involved. And Will's going to explain all that in our interview, but he's able to cut your prep time in less than half, like a quarter of the prep time, I would say at the very least. He's also got a really cool pricing structure. So if you want to be able to teach a lot of different formats at the current facility that you work at or at a bunch of different facilities, he has got the way to do that because he bundles his formats and he has everything covered from weightlifting to cycle to mind body to there are five formats. So he's going to talk about all that in the interview, and I will see you there. I'm Kelly Coulter. In 2020, I became absolutely obsessed with helping fitness professionals build their businesses so they could serve their clients during the pandemic. Now, I help coaches just like you make more impact with your perfect clients without adding hours to your day by leveraging the life-changing work you're already doing. These episodes are specifically designed to deliver mindset, business, and direct response marketing tips that will truly move the needle on your business. Ready to get started? Let's go. All right, Will Brereton, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to see your face again.
Good to see you as well. So, y'all, Will is the founder of Shift Fitness. He also has a storied history and career in the industry. He's been with Les Mills, he's been with Beachbody, and I'll just let you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and about Shift, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So I am a 21 or 22-year veteran of the industry now. I know it's difficult when I have the light shining in my face, but I'm actually I'm not as young as I look. I know that's what you were thinking. So I've been in the industry for 20 years. I started in New Zealand at Les Mills. So Les Mills is obviously a global fitness company, but it's also a chain of gyms in New Zealand. And so I started teaching at the Les Mills in my home city of Christchurch when I was 19. And then I have been teaching ever since. So I was just telling Kelly before that I am a lawyer by training. So I was a lawyer by day and an instructor by evening for a number of years, or early morning and evening. I moved to London in 2007. And since then, I have been based in London, and I have come in and out of the fitness industry in a full-time capacity, obviously working for Les Mills as a lawyer and a business affairs person, and then at Beachbody with Beachbody Live, running their UK and then Europe operations. And then since 2016, I have had my own company, which is Shift Fitness. We started in 2017 as a bodyweight training format, Zumba model. So we license instructors, and instructors can then teach it wherever they want. And in the past sort of 5 or 6 years, we have grown to now have 5 formats. So we have Shift Bodyweight, Lift, Strength and Conditioning, Mind, Flexibility, Stability, Mobility, Rise, Functional Step, and Ride, which is our newest one. They are all designed for instructors to be able to teach anywhere. So digital, in-person, online, no restrictions. And now that we've got our full complement of 5 formats, we are also starting to partner with gyms who see the value in having a high quality but low cost group fitness partner. So it's exciting times. The pandemic threw us for a little bit of a curveball, but then we have managed to keep on track thanks to our amazing community of instructors. The thing I like most about Shift is that we've created a community that constantly gives back to each other, and that keeps me super motivated and super focused on the industry after all this time.
Oh my gosh, very cool. I love hearing about your growth as well.
Yeah, it hasn't been a constant thing. It's definitely taken some curveballs. So when Beachbody Live shut, we were lucky enough that Beachbody Live instructors knew me from having been there previously, and a lot of the master trainers knew me. So they said, "Look, Shift could be a really good home for you." That was at the end of 2019. So we've been operating for a couple of years. We'd gone through our teething phase, and we had our processes in place. And then when Beachbody Live closed down, we brought a lot of instructors on, like thousands of instructors on. And then that was December, January 2019, 2020. And we were like, oh, wow, like things are rolling now. We're cooking with gas. And then pandemic. So it's been a learning curve. But the good thing is that we're in a position to really help instructors, along with you and what you're doing with your Facebook group. We had just brought all these instructors on, and they were desperate for somebody to help them understand how to navigate the pandemic. And thanks to our business model, which was always digital first, so there was no kind of problems with how we were distributing our stuff, which all goes to a smartphone. And because they could teach anywhere, in person or online, with no restrictions because of the way our format works, we really were able to help instructors who were flailing and not knowing how they were going to continue to service their communities and make a living, help them with that. So that was really exciting. And now that we're coming out the other end, we have a really strong community, as I said before, but we're able to now get back into doing what everybody loves the most when it comes to fitness, which is teaching in-person experiences.
Oh my gosh, so good. And you were kind of one of the first that were really looking at the format as digital first. Am I right about that?
Yeah, so that actually comes from my background at Les Mills and at Beachbody. I both of those companies had legacy business models that weren't necessarily working in the late sort of 20 teens. When I say that, I mean that Les Mills comes from the 90s, and therefore they used to like photocopy all of their notes and put everything onto a videotape and a tape, and then they'd have to send it out. And that was a lot of work. And so doing a quarterly release was literally the most they could do, because that whole 3 months was taken up filming, printing, distributing. And so that flywheel and that cycle of doing it once per quarter was coming from the position of not operationally being able to do it any more often. And then at Beachbody, that had come from Powder Blue, and they'd done an amazing job at growing throughout the United States, but they were doing it bi-monthly. Again, technology had moved on a little bit by then, but they weren't doing it as often as I saw people wanting. And in the late 2010s, sort of 2016, 2017, Spotify, Netflix, you were just expecting new stuff to drop into your device with a much more regular cadence than quarterly or bi-monthly. So we thought that if we can create something that's digital first, that it is extremely low cost compared to what else is on the market. And we can talk about our prices later, but we're still there. So we are sort of the cheapest on the market, not in a sense of what we provide, but in sense of what we charge. The reason being that we cut out all of the stuff that our competitor businesses had to deal with, like production and postage. We just cut it out and went direct to digital. Obviously, in the last 6 years, they have all moved to that as well. So that's not really our USP anymore. We've moved on from that. But at the beginning, that was our USP, which I have to admit, until the pandemic, didn't really work that well for us, because until the pandemic, instructors had not really transformed themselves digitally. And so in 2016 and 2017, when I was going, everything, the training, the assessment, the content, it all goes to your smartphone. You can use our app with any music on your player. People were like, nope, too much. I just want you to send me a CD.
They were like, oh, okay.
I don't see the point. And then, yeah, so that it was an uphill battle. And I am happy to say that the pandemic helped to educate instructors on what we saw as being a really great benefit for them. And now we're in a position where we don't have to explain the concept anymore. So we were a little bit ahead of our time, but then things caught up with us. I'm not going to say that I'm happy that for the way it did, but I'm happy that it did. And now we're going on from here. So we have now got our 5 formats, and we've just made some really, really big changes to our business model, where we're hoping that we can kind of shake the board and change the game again.
Okay, so I want to hear all about this. I've been really excited all week
Yeah.
to talk about this. Before we do, I
Mhm.
think it would be a really good idea for us to talk about kind of who does best with Shift, as far as maybe instructors and maybe also participants. Who's your target?
Yeah, our target market is instructors. Well, our target market initially was instructors who are wanting to be able to teach the most possible fitness classes they can with the least possible time investment on their end. So we are an app-based solution. We are interval-based, so we are not exercise to music. The music is there as a motivation, but we're pre-designed rather than pre-choreographed. And we use a timer. So on your phone, you see the move, you see the seconds that that interval is still moving on. You have the ability to have a voice on or voice off option. So if you don't want to memorize anything and you just want to push play and go, have the music going, we have a vocal cue that will help you to know where you are in the workout. And then we also have the ability to mix, match, and mash up for as many formats as you are qualified in. So you can create a mashup that is sections of previous workouts mashed together, a little bit like you might create a playlist in Spotify of different music, different songs that you like for a spin class. We can do that with our workouts. So we are for instructors who have the ability to teach more than they might have been able to teach before, because we think that if you know how to deliver a safe, effective workout in a bodyweight modality, then you should be delivering fitness, should be delivering flexibility and mobility as well, because that will not only be better for your end users, but it will also allow you to make more money for less time invested.
Oh my goodness. So we've never had this conversation before. That is so cool. So what you're saying is that there's less kind of preparation time.
Yeah.
And that they would theoretically be able to go teach more because of less preparation time. And is there also, does that mean that there's more coaching and less kind of doing with, or is it, would that
to be honest, the whether or not you deliver it at the front or whether you demonstrate a couple of reps and then floor coach, that's up to the individual instructor. We kind of leave that to people. If you're someone that is teaching a couple of classes a week and you're wanting to do it with the people, then that's great. If you're teaching 3 classes a day and you want to minimize your physical exertion so that you can get through those classes, then that's fine too. It works either way. And the way the classes work and are programmed, it can also be taught one-on-one. So we have some of our instructors who use it as PTs when they've programmed a strength and conditioning session. They want to do a 15-minute metabolic bodyweight finisher. They just stick on a section of a shift, a bolt on, as we call them, which is a single section. So it could be a Tabata, it could be a 10-minute conditioning section. And then they just put the timer on and go and coach their participants. So it is really how you choose to bring it is what it's there for.
And so what they're getting out of it is not only do they have to plan or memorize choreography, but they're also getting the most creative, most kind of recent, most effective.
Yeah. So we drop a new workout into the app every second month, and that's across 5 formats. So it works out as being about every 11 days if you're a Shift Pro member, which we'll talk about. And we have instructors who the workout drops at 9 a.m. UK time and they're delivering it by 5 p.m. UK time. We tell our instructors that the one thing we want you to do in order to deliver a great end user experience is you got to do the workout yourself. So they know that the workout's going to drop on the 1st of the month, the 15th of the month. The workout drops. They do the workout as their own workout so that they can feel how it feels and therefore coach it better. But then we have people delivering it sort of 3 or 4 hours later because it's that simple and requires that little prep once you know and understand the format.
Very cool. Very, very forward thinking. Considering that you've been around since 2017, very forward thinking. Yes.
Yeah, well, like what it was designed for, and this again comes from my background at Les Mills working with facilities, is that I knew that facilities wanted to engage their workforces, and that can be good or bad for instructors. And for instructors, I know that they would sometimes get frustrated because you'd have sort of front of house staff being used to deliver classes. And this is one of the things where we've talked before, and I'm very keen on. I have a podcast which people are welcome to listen to, which Kelly has been a guest on, called Group Fitness Real Talk. The biggest thing for me is just always being honest and upfront with group fitness instructors. And I think group fitness instructors can sometimes just forget the realities of what they're doing. And the reality is that one of the things was pay hasn't gone up forever, and it's unlikely to for a number of reasons that we can talk about. Hobbyists are going to keep the prices down because they're willing to do it for less. Gyms don't have enough money after the pandemic. So we thought we could solve that by minimizing the amount of time you had to prep outside of class, meaning that for every dollar you earned inside of the class, you were going to take home more. Because instead of practicing for an hour, delivering for an hour, you could practice for 3 minutes, deliver for an hour, and then your overall taking would be greater. And then the other thing is that gyms are always going to want to activate their workforce to be able to deliver more things, which is why we have the voice on and the voice off option. Voice off is for instructors that can memorize, and voice on is for instructors who are new. And that was so that we could facilitate gyms and facilities being able to engage their workforce. What we realized as we brought in more formats is that we were also enabling experienced instructors to take on modalities that they hadn't done before. So when we launched Mind and Rise, which is our flexibility, stability, and mobility format, great recovery, calisthenics, sports conditioning, recovery and stretch format, and Rise, which is functional step, we had lots of instructors who had come from a bodyweight background, had never done a stretch class, definitely didn't consider themselves yogis, definitely didn't consider themselves sort of that style of person, but who believed in our solution. And now they're teaching mobility classes. So immediately they have been able to deliver something they didn't think they could, and also not only bring that type of exercise to their class members, but also increase the number of spots that they can teach on a gym timetable or on their own community timetable, thus enabling them to make more money.
Yes, I imagine that also helps you kind of condense your teaching schedule so that you could go back to back. And then also, you brought up kind of a hot button issue for me, getting people doing the mind and the flexibility work when they haven't in the past can be huge, right?
Yeah. So for people that may recognize me, I was a body attack instructor, which is, super high impact, high end aerobics. And then I was doing Insanity when I was at Beachbody. And because of my advancing age, which I'm very happy, because you have two choices. You either age or you don't, and I know which one I want to do. I've had lots of niggles and issues, and I have a particular problem with early degeneration of my spinal discs, which is something that I manage. But I really, as I got towards the middle and end of my 30s, realized that I needed to be focusing more on that. So it really was an example of my own journey that I realized that I needed to be focusing more on the recovery end of fitness and not just going hard, going home every time. But I would have never considered myself someone who could deliver a mind-body style class. And so it very much isn't that. It's very much the type of class that you might see at a CrossFit gym on a Sunday morning when they know they need to recover their people, because you can't just smash people with conditioning every day. But not focused on kind of the namaste, yoga-ish style of things, which I do enjoy too, but I don't know I could deliver. More focused on stretching and rehabilitation and mobility.
Oh, very cool. Okay, I'm going to take that then. I want to see how that
do.
goes. The other thing you made me really interested in was steps. So you said that people that haven't taught modalities in the past are able to come in and teach. So one of the things I noticed about myself is I'm also of an advancing age. I had a 20-year career in marketing before I ever started doing this, but I've always been an instructor. So at the end of my career in marketing, I had taken 5 years off of teaching. I just felt like it was too much. My kids were young. And so I wasn't teaching. And I, before that, had taught step. I went back and tried to teach step after that, and I couldn't do it. It was like this completely different language, the timing, I couldn't cue. I kept trying and trying, and my people were going, she's really bad.
See, you definitely need to try Rise, which is our functional step format. The thing that's a little bit different from the way we do things, and again, this is one of those things that when we started, instructors didn't really get it, because they were used to, I'm diving into body pump it at release 50, and then it's going to be release 51, and then I have 2 releases to pull from. And it was the same at Insanity. You could start on Insanity 1, and then you'd have Insanity 2, then you could mix and match, but you'd be limited. Because we are a digital only operator, we operate like a Spotify. So if you're paying the squad subscription, you're getting everything. And if you're not paying it, you get nothing. And you can go away and have a baby, or go away and have some life things happen, or have an injury, and you can stop and then start again. And you get access to everything. And then you don't pay and you don't get access to anything. And then when you rejoin, you get access to everything again, just like you would with Netflix, which means that we now have I think we're up to 46 on Shift, our body weight format. So that's 46 individual workouts, and every workout is completely different. So we do not do what other fitness formats do, which is absolutely fine. I totally get why they do it, which is they swap out the music, but the class is relatively the same each time. We're completely different every time. So our body weight format Shift sometimes is super high intensity, sometimes it's completely low impact, sometimes it's focused on animal flow, sometimes it's an aerobics class. And so our step format is a mixture. Every time we drop a workout, it is a different style of thing. So we've had speed, we've had power, we've had strength where it's weights using the step. And we've also had some like retro classic step where it is designed to be taught to the 32 count. So it's a little mix of everything, but we have people that have never done choreographed formats before that are willing to give our step retro a try because they trust us.
There we go. There we go. So with that, so we have gotten a lot of the history, and then so much of a better understanding of what you're doing and how important it is. So thank you for that. But you've got some big changes that we wanted to talk about today. So let's transition and talk about it.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we started off with one format, which was Shift, our body weight format. And when we brought that in, we wanted to have a low monthly cost. And so I kind of looked, okay, what does the cost look like across different formats? And Les Mills was a gym licensing format. So the gyms paid the money. And as you might have heard me say on other podcasts, what that really means is that the total budget to pay instructors goes down because the gym is getting rid of that budget at the top end and paying it direct to Les Mills. But we're not going to get into
cost prohibitive for an instructor to do that on their own, correct?
It absolutely is. So there are some instructors that have their own facilities, but yeah, it's pretty prohibitive. It's like we're talking in the space of kind of $200, $250 a month just for the license before you pay for the music and all that sort of stuff. And Les Mills doesn't really want to sell to individual instructors. They want to sell to enterprises, which is completely fine because that's their business model. Then you have a Zumba, which the Zim membership was, roughly $30 a month. I'm not sure what they are now. I haven't looked at it recently. We decided that we wanted to be much more cost effective than that. And so we pegged it down at $12.99 US. We've recently made some changes where we still have access to that price, but on an annual membership for reasons that I'll tell you. So we had a single format was $12.99, and then we added another format, $12.99, and another format, $12.99. And our promise to be the most cost-effective solution for instructors started to not be. And we were giving out the same amount of stuff in each of our squads. So the ability to mix and mash, the ability to use our app, a new workout every second month, marketing materials, all the stuff. But when you had instructors who were really loyal to us because they loved our solution, if they were teaching more things, they were paying 2 times or 3 times or getting up to 4 times. And we launched our 5th format. We're like, right, we need to fix this. It wasn't that we didn't want to fix it earlier on. It's just that for anyone that's done any type of membership or subscription models in an IT system, switching from one payment style to another payment style, and you've got vertical products and having to integrate those vertical products is a nightmare. So we were looking at what we were going to do, and we were going to have progressive discounts, which makes sense to everybody, right? Like, you have 15 for your first one, and then 20 for 2, 22.50 for 3, that kind of thing. And it got to the end of 2021, and I was looking at the pricing, and it just didn't seem ambitious enough. And so I was talking with my sister, the co-founder of Shift, about what we could do. And I was like, why don't we just scrap it, the whole thing, and have the option to have you pay one or you pay all. And if you pay one, you get access to one format. And if you pay 2 or more, you get access to everything. And the benefit to us is that we encourage and reward our instructors for being loyal to us and wanting to do more things. And the benefit to instructors is that they get access to all these different formats and get to understand the reality, which is you can be someone that's only previously taught body weight. We will get you to a point where you can teach body weight, strength, stretch, step, and ride. And the ride has music attached to it, but it's still as easy to teach as any of our other ones. And we have people that have never been on a cycle before that are now delivering cycle classes.
Very cool. It sounds like that really jives a lot more with your mission. I mean, we talked in the beginning about how one of the biggest benefits is that people will teach more modalities. Awesome stuff.
It absolutely does. And we incentivize people to give it a try. And then once they try it, they realize how good it is to be able to deliver more stuff. And by having a single format or everything, you don't necessarily have to teach all 5. Maybe you're just doing 3, maybe you're doing 4, but the way the prices are. So just to give people listening an idea of what the prices are. So with one format, it is $15.99, or every format, it is $29.99. And that's the monthly cancel anytime price. And it goes down to, where are we? I have to do the maths, but it goes down to $13.30 if you pay for the annual membership. So that's for monthly, and then $24.99. So yeah, that was what we did. We kind of like, again, we didn't really go, this is what we think it's worth. I just went, I think for 5 formats that an instructor, the average price of a class is $25. And, you know, when you're evening it out, a 60-minute class across the board, I want our subscription to be that or lower. And so that's what we went with.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. And I think the pricing makes a lot of sense. What's the certification process like?
So we have a completely on-demand certification process. It is a set of videos that people can train in their own space at their own pace. And then we run our training a little bit like we run our subscription, which is you can sign up for 1. If you sign up for the second one, there's a discount. But if you sign up for 3, we give you 5. So we have the Shift bundle, and that is our most popular choice because people, once they're bought into what we're doing and they've got instructors that are teaching it in their location, they know the value that we bring. You sign up for the bundle, and then you basically knock them all off. So you go through the training. The training has about 3 hours worth of content plus a short assessment that you film on your smartphone and submit through the coach portal. Then within 5 business days, you are certified and ready to go, or withheld with feedback if you need to do it. But the certification is really, really easy. If you're brand new and you've never taught before, maybe you need to have a couple of tries. But if you're someone that's delivering class already, you will pass, I guarantee. And then you are allowed to upgrade to squad, which means you get the continuity. So depending on what format it is, we have, over 40 shifts. We're at 20 of the other ones, almost 30 with lift. And then you can, in your own time, choose to knock off the next format that you want to do. So depends on what your current teaching style is or what your classes are wanting more of. Of the 3 hours of the training, there's about an hour of it that is generic. So you don't have to do that again. You have to do the other class, then watch the other format specific training. Then you submit the same short assessment video. And we've had people that have signed up for the bundle and have knocked it all off in kind of a week of doing training and assessment in the evening, or a day and a half if they devote all the time to it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love the on-demand aspect. I love you've really knocked the time commitment down to the essentials. So good.
This is what I saw.
Busy lawyer thinking here.
Yeah, well, because I've been around instructors for so long, and I would hear the same things, which is I don't get paid enough, and I'm like, well, I can't change what you get paid because that we're on supply end, we're not on demand end. What I can do is cut down on the amount of time. I can cut down on what we charge you for content, and I can cut down on the amount of time it takes you to be able to deliver that content, which should mean that you're the money you earn per hour invested in fitness should double theoretically if you're spending half the time on training. And what I can also do is I can just make it simple, easier, and cut down on your need to invest time in getting to the point where you can deliver our content.
And I think you've done that. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And you are offering a special discount to my audience.
Absolutely. So we are going to put together a discount code, which will be Kelly25, which will mean you get 25% off the training in any format. Obviously the bundle, that's the one you should do. But we will make sure that that is live for, I'm not sure exactly what date this is going out, but we'll make sure that this is live for sort of 14 days after this video. So that if you're watching this live, get into it. If you are watching it on replay a couple of days later, you can still take a look at what we have to offer and hopefully join our squad.
Absolutely. I love it. There was something that came into my mind and it just, the URL.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Shift Fitness, SH1FT Fitness.net. And then you can take a look. We have We have a website with a whole lot of videos. So if you want to try before you buy, my biggest suggestion for you is to join the Shift Forum on Facebook. That is our instructor community. That means instructors that are currently teaching Shift, but also prospective instructors. And then don't take my word for it. Join the Shift Forum and just post a question regarding what other people think of the format. Say that you've come in and you're wanting to know what other instructors think. Don't take my word for it. Trust me, we have a very chatty bunch of instructors. It's a great community. It's super supportive. It is probably the thing that I'm most proud of, because I've been your Facebook community is like this too. I've been a member of a number of instructor Facebook groups that can get a little bit negative and antsy and focus on the complaint side of instructing, because there's a lot to complain about, I admit. But our community is amazing. It's really uplifting and motivational, and it's a great place to be. So I welcome anyone that wants to join.
Well, thank you. I need to join. I'm not sure that I'm in there.
I think you're there. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, good. But I will say, from involvement with the instructors in my community, I have heard such good things. People love teaching the formats. They love everything that you've done in terms of the licensing structure and the availability of the workouts, the timing of the releases. I've just heard really, really good things. So I'm really impressed with what you've done.
Yeah, I'm excited. We have a few big things that are coming up this year, but one of the things I'm most excited about is, so we upgraded all of our app and our IT so that we met kind of instructors with what they wanted. Our development agency is based in the Ukraine. So for the first few months of this year, when we were still delivering Ride and a few other things, it's been a little bit terse, but they're safe, they're good. And we're now focusing, especially in 2023, on getting back to what I love, which is instructor education. So we have a few things in the pipeline that build on what we do with our base level certifications and allow us to sort of bring more education to instructors, which is exciting.
Will you come back on and talk about them when you're ready to?
Absolutely. I would love to.
Well, beautiful. I think that's a great place to cut it off then. So we will see you again soon. We'll be talking more about education products.
Cheers. Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, Will, thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Will Brereton. He's one of the smartest guys in the fitness industry, and I love talking to him. So I hope you enjoyed that as well. If you're watching this on the day it's released, which is November 15th, or even if you're watching this on November 16th, I'm in the middle of leading my Serve, Lead, Sell challenge. So that's a 3-day challenge. It's taught inside a private pop-up group. You register for it at learn.fitprosconnect.com. You still have time to register. So the Serve, Lead, Sell challenge is where I teach you how to change more lives, how to feed your passion, and how to make a real living doing it. We're going to talk about creating the program that's right for your audience. We're going to talk about pricing that program right. We're going to talk about marketing without spending your entire life on social media. And it's a 3-day challenge, but the videos will be up for about 10 days. So you still have time to get in, consume the videos, and schedule your one-on-one meeting with me in order to get your next steps in place after you go through the trainings in that challenge. So you've got all the time in the world to go through everything inside the challenge and still schedule your one-on-one meeting with me. It's a $47 investment, and that's less than dinner and drinks. It's going to change your darn career and get you making some real money and changing a bunch of lives. So I hope to see you there.
I really hope this information served you today. And if it did, will you do me a favor? Leave a comment letting me know how you felt about the information I shared, or asking any questions that you may have been left with. I will see your comments and I will respond. Your questions and reactions help me to know what content helps you grow most. Please make sure that you like this episode on YouTube and that you share it with a friend who might find it useful. Subscribe to this channel and click the bell so you will always be notified every time I publish something new. Your likes help us to get the show in the hands of pros and coaches just like you. And one more thing before we go. If you are ready for the next level of support and growth with me, I invite you to take my Client Creation Kickstart. It's a wealth of learning, coaching, and support contained in a mini course that you can complete in just a few days in your spare time. If you show up and do the work, I will show you how to gain 5 or more clients in the span of just a few days. I've had Kickstarters leave that mini course having made $5,000 in just a couple days. Even better, your registration includes a one-on-one custom next steps call so we can ensure you can complete the course and are prepared to take the right next steps based on your unique business. It's under $50 right now, but that price is not going to last. So head over to fitprosconnect.com. That's FITPROS connect.com/kickstart and get registered before the price goes up. fitprosconnect.com/kickstart, and I will see you in our custom next steps meeting.